Social psychology is a study of how we think about, influence, and relate to one another. Our project is on stereotypes, which is a generalized belief about a group of people.
For our first experiment, to test that stereotypes do exist, we've decided to print off 9 pictures of different people, of different races, genders, and just different stereotypical looks. And we've created note cards with multiple different characteristics and jobs, and we're going to see which characteristics and jobs match with the different people's faces. So for the results of our first experiment, there was only 3 different note cards that got put under the Asian's face: doctor, good at math, and computer scientist. 20 out of the 20 people we ran the experiment on put these 3 note cards under his face and thought that none of the other faces characterized as a doctor, good at math, or a computer scientist.
Another result from our experiment that was surprisingly overwhelming was associated with the black man. 20 out of 20 people associated his face with the stereotype criminal, and 18 out of 20 people associated his face with the stereotype thug.
For our next picture, we had a man in a white mask, and 20 out of 20 people labeled him as a homosexual. They put no other label under his face.
For this man, 20 out of 20 people said that he listens to country music, while 19 out of 20 thought he was a farmer. He got another 6 out of 20 for a gas station attendant, and only 2 people thought that he was unemployed.
When we showed them the face of this Muslim woman, 20 out of 20 immediately associated the mask that was covering her face as being extremely religious. Also, 6 out of 20 associated this woman with being a terrorist just because she was Muslim.
For our next picture, we showed people a picture of a Mexican. 20 out of 20 labeled him an illegal immigrant and a landscaper. Only 1 person labeled him unemployed and as a gas station attendant.
So for the picture of the woman holding a kid, 20 out of 20 people thought that she drove a minivan. Also, 8 out of 20 people thought that she was ditzy. 10 out of 20 people thought that she would be a secretary, while 20 out of 20 people thought that she cooks and or cleans the house for everyone. Also, 8 people thought that she was very suburban.
Blonde woman, 19 out of 20 thought she was spoiled or an interior designer. 10 out of 20 thought she was a secretary, and 12 out of 20 thought she was ditzy.
Now we're going to go out into the hallways and ask a few students and teachers about what their opinions are on the stereotyping in the hallways of BHS.
So we're here with guidance counselor Mr. Tucker. So do you think stereotypes exist here at Barrington High School?
Definitely. I mean, I think stereotypes exist everywhere. In some instances, it may benefit us a little bit, just like we don't have time to figure out everybody and who they are. And so when, sometimes we make some snap judgments just because we need to.
So how do you think they affect our everyday lives?
In the grand scheme of things, without a doubt, they limit people. It's a shame when someone makes a judgment, like I just said before, without getting to know somebody. So, maybe in a brief instance, every now and then, it might be like, wow, it's a safety thing. I'm not going to bother to find out. But in most cases, when you're stereotyping somebody, you're making a judgment without knowledge. So it's the ultimate sign of usually an ignorant decision.
So do you think there's anything we can do to try to get rid of stereotypes or limit them?
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work, but I think just by immersing ourselves in a diverse group of people, educating ourselves, learning more, I think a lot of the fears that come out of stereotypes are, as I mentioned before, just due to that ignorance. So the more we learn about other people, the more we get to know people and don't make snap judgments, I think that can start breaking down some of those stereotypes and barriers.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're here with junior Eloise Rogers, and so Eloise, how prevalent do you think stereotypes are here at BHS?
I think stereotypes are kind of a big thing here. I think people don't like to say that they are or admit that they are, but I definitely see trends among groups of friends or certain people tend to congregate together and shut other people out. I know that I myself even without thinking about it use certain stereotypes or just look at somebody and judge them even without just taking a step back and being like, whoa, what am I doing?
Right. And as a student in your daily life, how do stereotypes affect you?
I think it affects the way that I look at certain people, or even going so far as to I won't make an effort to be friends with someone, not in a rude or mean way, but just being oh, I don't know if I could be really good friends with them because they're really different from me. And not that just that they're different from me, but maybe they wouldn't like the same things as I would, or we wouldn't really find any common ground or anything.
Thank you.
With Miss O, do you think stereotypes exist here at BHS?
I do think they exist.
And how do you think they affect our lives?
Very negatively. I think they make students uncomfortable to come to school. I don't know if you guys remember what happened just a few weeks ago, how the LGBT group, I don't know what it's called here.
Best buddies?
No, the LGBT group, they had to put up all the signs all over the school saying, it's not a matter of being gay or straight or whatnot, but they obviously exist. People are being made uncomfortable just coming to school, and things have to be turned into these humongous issues when they're really not. And then the whole best buddies thing that you're talking about, we have kids all over the place that are different, and I'm sorry if they're not mainstream or super popular or part of the in crowd, but they do exist. They are here, and we should make them feel welcome. It's not even we should, it just should be expected, guys.
Alright, thank you very much.
No problem.
So how do you see stereotypes improving here at Barrington High School?
I think through clubs and sports, really, I think it's really bringing a lot of people together.
Alright, thanks.
I'm here with senior Joey Feeney. Joey, have you ever seen stereotyping at BHS?
Yeah, I definitely have. I think that, with this, the smarter kids, I feel stereotyped within certain races, and the athletes, and just all around, I think there's a lot of stereotypes in our school.
Have you yourself ever been stereotyped?
I'd say a little bit, just because people think I'm a jock, and the stereotypical jock thinks they're stupid, and yeah.
Thanks.
So Mr. Pagentini, do you think that stereotypes exist here at BHS?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, most of the stereotypes are incorrect. People insinuate you're Barrington, you're a little rich, spoiled kid. You're not. 90% of the kids, 95% of the kids that go here are real good kids, whether they have money or not. And you also have the peppers with the stereotype what that type is. So they exist. I think they work against their students sometimes, but it's like that everywhere in the world, pretty much.
So how do you think that they affect our everyday lives?
You guys get along. Expectations set by teachers. I think that's important. Sometimes where you're from, they expect more or they expect less, but the teachers that hold you to the highest standard, those are the ones.
And do you think that there's anything we can do to try to get rid of them or limit their?
I'll throw a question back at you. You've been on the reservation. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely do. We can get to know people and just reach out and make bonds with people. Yeah.
Exactly, and not see what they're inside here.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, great. It's never changed. Let's do lunch.
Organizations such as the Best Buddies Club at BHS help to eliminate and limit the number of stereotypes we have.